So we were beginning to talk about Kundalini. Um, and I had a very interesting, Kundalini experience in my journey. I was just telling Leo where my Kundalini got activated and kind of stably activated at a certain point, and that created a huge change where I was able to, repeatedly in the future, leverage that energy, and it was something that was just there. Um, and if there's a way we can figure out to be able to give similar types of initiations, I think it would be I think it would be super interesting. Um, yeah, and again, as I was thinking, I think the being that works with the Kundalini and like maybe also in that process is a being that's been used by many different gurus in India, including Swami Shivam Tirth, who's who's from central India and wrote a guide to Shaktipat. And from everything I know, he uses the same being. So there's a kind of initiation process which kind of gets the Kundalini activated, but it's activated in a very stable way, which is in contrast to just kind of throwing energy around or having an unstable activation where it's just kind of shooting all over the place. In this activation, the Kundalini is really it's super stable. And in fact, it's just in the first petal of the root chakra. So it doesn't even, fully permeate the root chakra right away. It doesn't go to other chakras. Um, they found a way, like this being does it in a way where it's contained. And I think that's the best way to describe it. It's like it is contained initially down there, in the root chakra, and it doesn't get to like start going up and, bouncing around.
So
Um,
that's super interesting. There's been a lot of synchronicities very recently leading up to today
okay.
about Kundalini, so I was guided to, there were practices that you could self-activate, of course, through pressurization and squeezing.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, Nico, are you familiar with, have you done any Kundalini work?
I think in my case, it happened like naturally. Um, it was just a spiritual work when
Mm.
I was improving with meditation, with self reflection. But yes, it's a good topic because I wanted to ask, like, what are the initiation if Kundalini is not happening, or I feel sometimes, but not sometimes, but in last year it was like starting and somehow stopped. So I was not smoking, not drinking, not doing anything of this. But I think um, there was like these blockages or these self-beliefs programs, but was also still like blocking the whole Kundalini to happen. So I felt like it started already, but not happened 100% because of these blocks and self-beliefs. So yeah, honestly, I'm not sure that I already had full Kundalini or it was not. So I think for that I would need a teacher, someone who could tell me. But yeah, I felt like the experience, so I know how is it. But I also felt these blockages were like blocking the experience.
Okay, that's very good to know. Thank you for sharing. So I could sense
Right.
Ra and the Dragon Collective actually. I think Yona
Ah,
wants to also speak.
okay,
So
awesome.
yeah, why don't we see what they want to say?
Yeah, let's check it out. Definitely a topic shrouded in mystery over here. I think we need some fresh information on it.
Yeah, yes, yes. Dear ones, we are Ra. And we come through in this joyous way, for we love this topic, and we love, of course, being with all of you. And so we greet you all. Yes, dear ones here in this recording, and dear ones who will listen later, and dear ones who have gathered in, your guides, your team of love and light that are here to support you and guide you in your journey. We're all here. We are all here huddled together. Yes. So, let us continue. Well, we will let, yes, dear Yona, our dragonkin, wishes to come through more. One moment. Yes, yes, dear ones. I am Yona. I am of the Dragon Collective, and I specifically asked to come through for we of the Dragon Realm are very, very, very fond of Kundalini flow, and it could also be called plasma flow, for Kundalini is a form of plasma energy. It is highly, highly, highly concentrated energy, highly, highly charged and stable and malleable. And this quality is very unique, you could say, to the plasma. And so there are questionings we understand of what exactly is the Kundalini flow, or how can we activate it? How can we sustain it? And we are very happy to come through in this way because, as dear Jonah and as dear Eniko, yes, both of you have described your sharings are quite wonderful. And what we will say is that both of you have experienced the beginnings of this flow re-enlivening, of rejuvenating. And so what we will say and share at this time is that the Kundalini flow is not limited to the lower centers. It is, you could say, started there by many because there is a lot of, let us say, sunken and concentrated energy in your lower centers because of how your culture has acted and behaved and the habits that have been developed over the millennia. Naturally, when one chooses to be born in the humanity, there is a tendency for the energies to sink down a bit and concentrate in the lower realms, and it often constricts in a sort of, as it's called, blockage. And so when the energy at the base of the spine, as it is said, begins to be activated, then indeed it begins to flow throughout the body. And so as we've said, when you begin to experience this for both of you, you have begun to experience the beginnings of this. And what's important to understand is that the Kundalini energy, the plasma energy, is meant to move throughout the entire body, throughout the entire body. And so when it is first activated, when it is first subtly activated, there is a tendency for the energy to just, yes, be flowy in the lower realms in this sort of way. However, as you practice and practice working with this lovely life, you begin to be able to develop the skill and ability and energetic muscles to allow and draw this energy upwards. Just draw the energy upwards as well. And outwards. It can also be, oh, yes, in a sort of broadcasting way. And so what we will say as well is that often when one in your cultures begins working with Kundalini, there is an over focus, over pressurization that occurs. For there is, yes, in your culture, a tendency to desire now, now. Yes, the quick, I want it now. Yes, the manifestation right away. This sort of mentality, sort of perspective is what leads to an over pressurization quite often. And this is also the case.
Guilty as charged.
Yes, and so is this one. We we give them a little, yeah, this is a funny, funny wink, wink. Yes, indeed, many, many in your culture, and this is just how it has evolved over the millennia, and it's something that all of you are now working to, yes, in a more flower blooming, blossoming way, transform. And so, as this Kundalini is activated, because the reason why some in your world are met with a almost psychosis is because they overdo it. Yes, it is over pressurized, and then And so much energy is brought up at once that that's very similar, the same as a psychedelic experience where too much is taken at once. Yes, it is very much the same. And so we are here now at these times to encourage the more gentle approach that it can be self-activated through, yes, squeezing the perineum, squeezing the root chakra in this gentle pumping fashion, and then allowing the energy to, with the breath, it can be combined and drawing the energy up, and then it can be held as well as you hold the breath. And then, very importantly, you relax and release and allow the energy to move and settle. And then you can do it again. And so this very simple practice, if done, practice over time and time and time, gently, 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 you will begin to develop a sensitivity and awareness of the plasma kundalini flow, and you'll develop the energetic muscles to actually draw it and really allow it to move upwards through your whole body and as well as aura field, as opposed to just staying in the lower centers, which leads to a sort of a wavy, yes, a sort of wavy experience. And it you can draw it up and it becomes a more this plasmic feeling, flexible, malleable, yet strong and stable and joyful. It is quite joyful indeed. And so this is sort of what we are nudging you all towards. In these times of high energy activations on your planet, working with your Kundalini will be more and more important for all of your journeys, whether it is to manifest something or to heal something or to, yes, create something. Working and really moving with the flow of life and the Kundalini plasma flow, this will become more and more an important skill to develop. And we say it is equally important to do it gently so that you do not overdo it and lead to too much. Yes.
Hmm. Hmm. Can we can we talk a little bit more about the experience that I had and discern, is there, I think I was left with the impression that you can either have maybe kind of what you're talking about, like, you do an exercise and you feel a little bit Kundalini, but it kind of goes back, versus having an activation where the Kundalini is kind of stably present, and then it can kind of come in on its own during meditation where it's always there. Um, can you sort of shed light on that and kind of, yeah, like add sort of some truth, or or in the perspective on, yeah, is that real or not? How does that actually work?
Yeah, so we will confirm, dear one, that the Kundalini energy, the plasma energy at the base of your spine is indeed active. And as we say, now it is a time to allow it to move throughout your whole body, for it is not really about containing it there. For in truth, life does not wish to be contained. It wishes to be expressed in a vibrant, yes, this sort of expression and fashion. And so we say you have been built up, dear one, up till this point. The Kundalini energy at the base of your spine as well has been built up to this point so that you can move now beyond it. For it is important to allow the energy to move throughout your whole channel, again, in a gentle way, so that it clarifies, nourishes, rejuvenates your whole body. If it is just contained in the lower center, then it eventually becomes more and more restricted and constricted and can actually lead to, we will say, difficulties and problems, what you may seem. And so we are not saying that is the case for you. However, we are saying that going forward, it is important for you to begin moving this energy more upwards and throughout, yes, not just upward, 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 up. Ooh. It is also about letting it down. And then again, letting it up. Yes, this ebb and flow, as opposed to just trying to contain it or leaving it down there, or just trying to reach for the skies and the stars and depleting your lower centers. So it is about this in between and beginning to develop this practice again through very simple breathing of squeezing the perineum gently and deep breath in and hold. You can also lightly squeeze your muscles and then relax, release. Yes, allow it to settle and repeat and repeat and repeat. And as you do this, you will develop this sensitivity of, oh, the energies are too condensed in this area of my body right now. Let me redirect it and remove it. Or, oh, maybe I'm striving too much for the stars and trying to draw it up too much and let me
Okay.
let it settle.
So can let's go through this exercise in a little bit more detail so we know kind of how long we're holding the different parts of it, how long we're contracting. Because I've heard of similar exercises. I've heard of some as, part of Shambhavi Mahamudra. There's a, perineum squeeze, there's a hold. You're kind of, drawing up your diaphragm, you're locking it, you're locking the perineum, you're locking in your chest, you're locking in your throat with your chin, then you're like holding it for as long as possible. So I know there's a lot of practices around this, and I know it's often like the little minute details that can make a practice, either, a hand position, a foot position, um, how long you're holding. You were starting to mention a nuance where you're, contracting the upper muscle. So I know that little nuances can often make a big difference in terms of the results. So if you can, yeah, provide some more details on, on the exercise, how many times we're doing this, how long, the different parts of it, are we kind of moving our attention up through our body, like whatever details you can provide will be helpful in this exercise.
Yes, so the the answer to this is that it really varies based on the individual. For if one has a certain energy constriction blockage in a certain area of their body, then the way they do it, the optimal way for them to do it is not the same as another who has another sort of blockage or discomfort in their body. And so what we will actually reassure is that the minute details really are not as important as the general principles of what is occurring, in that you are pressurizing your body to a certain extent to activate the energies within the body and around your body. And then you are releasing and relaxing to allow those energies to move. And in this very general formula, each individual will develop their own sensitivities of, oh, maybe I could pressurize a bit more here, or oh, maybe I can roll my shoulders back and down a little bit here, or maybe I can engage my core or root. So we say really from the big picture, the minute is not super important, for they work themselves out. And what we will also say, the reason for this is these times now we are here to deliver a message of ease, that you do not need to force things in your life, dear ones. You do not need to struggle and force and overly strain, overly pressurize. Oh, I gotta activate my Kundalini. So when yes, this is what leads to the volcanic eruptions. Yes, this is what leads to the overdoing. We are really, what we are really speaking about, larger than just the Kundalini activations, is the how to live your life in a easy, graceful, abundant way, in that you do not need to force yourself to get to where you want to go. If you have a goal in mind, whether that is activating your Kundalini so that you can energize your body and life and and live your life more vibrantly, or whether it's a goal of, I wish to create this thing, or have a relationship, a beautiful relationship, or have financial streams that are very soothing as opposed to stressful and frustrating. You can pursue all of these goals with a gentle ease In other words, by pursuing it without forcing, gentle persistence, yes, relaxed perseverance. You do not need to overly strain. And so specifically now, when it comes to the Kundalini, we will answer the heart of your questioning in that, yes,
It's so funny because yeah, like you obviously know I'm like a classic overstrainer, whoever you want to call it. Like I'm always like, all right, we're gonna make this happen. We got to make that happen now. But then like I jump to the next thing, and
yes.
it must be so interesting from your perspective, watching down and like seeing all of that, seeing all of that
Well,
straining.
we do not judge, dear one, and we are giving examples that this dear one has done in his own life as
Okay,
well. And
so
so
all
we
right,
laugh and giggle in a
okay,
loving way. We are not trying to make fun. It is as if we see a little child on the beach and oh, they topple and they trip a little, oh, and stumble and oh, they are perfectly fine and okay. And we laugh and giggle along the way. But there is no judgment. This is, we wish to be clear. We are just
okay.
lovingly laughing at that. Indeed, we understand this is the
Oh boy.
process of humanity. And so what we wish to just emphasize is this is not necessary anymore. Yes, in the beginning phases of your humanity, the forcing, the struggling, the over-pressurizing, the over-constricting, this you could say was a bit necessary to get to where you are now. But now you are in a different playing field. And so now you can pursue your joys and passions and life with the ease and the grace and abundance. And so, yes, 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 yes.
But is it even possible to do it? I'm not sure that someone helps you to reach Kundalini. It's coming from inside, from you to work on yourself, no?
Your voice was disconnecting a little bit, dear one. May you repeat the questioning?
That Kundalini couldn't be forced. It's supposed to happen from inside work. So it's an inner job.
Yes, this is, you are accurate, dear one, and we will add that it does need to be guided a bit. In other words, not forcefully. However, there is a need for an intent for you to intend for it to move a bit. Yes? For there is a difference between not intending at all and just trying to allow it to happen on its own. And this can happen, but we will say it will take a longer period of time for there is less intent. And when there's less intent, there is less energy, let us say. And so it is a bit of both in that there is a need for an intent. There is a need for you to choose to do it. However, as you choose to do it, we're saying that there is no need to force it. And so we will give an analogy. Yes, there is a need to intend to, yes, let's say if you wish to go to the store, you must intend to get up and walk to the store, yes? However, what we are saying is there's no need to jump up and be like, I'm gonna go to the store. Yes, and go to the store in this way. However, there is a sort of, yes, general intent of, oh, okay, I'm going to move in this direction. I am going to do this, but I'm going to do it more gently, more lovingly, more wisely. And in this, there is a great allowance indeed, for you begin to understand that you are not alone in this, that there is so much life around you, within you, whether it's your cells, yes, the trillions of cells in your body, or whether it's us, your guides, who are always around you and supporting you and nurturing, nourishing you. So this is what we mean, dear one. There is a bit of an ebb and flow. It is a bit of both. Yes. Allowing and doing.
Thank you.
And would you have more advice for Eniko specifically?
So yes, dear one, thank you for this. For this wraps around to your initial question as well, dear Jonah, about are there more
Yeah.
specifics on how to do this practice?
All
And
right,
so
looks
we
like it wasn't
say,
recording. Oh no, it is. It is. Sorry.
Yes,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay.
yes. And so we say the simple practice. So what we shared already, we say that is very good and enough as it is, in that you do not need to work too much with your posture and all the locking, for again, that could lead to an overstrain. And it is not about that. It is more, it is very much the plasma flow, the Kundalini's flow. It's malleable. It's meant to be malleable. It's not meant to really be in this way. We will say that the standard practical physical exercise of, whether it is, yes, the push-ups, the squats, the pull-ups, all of this is very good as well, in that it strengthens your body, your, not just your muscle physical body, but your energetic muscles, so that you're able to more sensitize yourself with the Kundalini flow and sustain it for longer throughout your day. So we will say very practically, physical exercise is a great practice as well. However, that, yes, whatever sport exercise resonates with you, and again, we just remind not to force yourself too much, but yes, to do a little bit more, step by step, and that will build and build and build. And so, of course, accompanying that, the actual, let us say, sitting down Kundalini meditation. Yes, we will say, as you clear and clarify and strengthen your body, it naturally begins to realign, and there is a sort of natural uprightedness. There is a sort of, yes, pillar-like effect. However, we say it is not, even then, you're not really locking it in that way. The yogic traditions that practice the locking, it is not that it is wrong. We will say that it is not a practice that will suit most people. For there is some forcing involved. For if many people were to try these lockings, because they have not cleared themselves yet, they will naturally begin to force it. And so this is why we do not encourage this. And rather, the more light-hearted, the more, okay, I will just gently pulse my perineum, and then take a deep breath, and you can hold and just lightly squeeze, however that squeeze may look for you. Yes, generally upright is good. And then relax, release. Yes, this is very much a gentle practice that can be done by really almost all those who are able to move their bodies a little are able to do this, and there will not be a forcing, or at least very little. And as you build upon this, what you will find, on each individual will begin to develop their own sensitivities of, okay, maybe I could pressurize a little bit more. I think I built up my capacity a bit. Maybe I can pressurize a little bit more. And you will develop this individually, as opposed to trying to force yourself to lock yourself, if you're in a way, squeeze yourself in a way when you are not really ready yet. And so, yes, we say try this gentle practice for, yes, a few days at a time, and a few days at a time, resting along the way, and you will find that you'll be in a very, very different and more vibrant place in a few moons, let us say.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. That's interesting. A few days at a time and then taking a break for a few days. So that's something I haven't heard before. Because yeah, normally everyone says that it has to be every day.
As we say, mix it up, mix it up. We say, yes, do this a few times at it, and then try something else, whether that is a physical exercise, whether that is going for a hike. Yes, all of this adds together and builds up. Nothing is really separate. So we say just come back to this, and when you do, you will you will begin to realize just how much you have grown from all of your practices.
Okay. So it would be like, you do this, let's say 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, and you do that for 4 days, and then you take a break for 4 days, and then you come back for another 4 days, like something like that.
Yes, that is a great format indeed. Yes.
Okay. And then what about the role of, I guess beings like you in facilitating this process? Is there a place for, let's say, a Kundalini initiation or an activation that maybe at least in the beginning could sort of speed this up for people, or maybe there's an intermediate, assistance or activation? Um, can you speak a little bit on that topic?
Yes, there are, I mean, as you have described here, when you have experienced something akin to this, we, from our side, however, again, the times you are all in now, it is, we encourage the the self exercises a bit first for even those that go to, let us say, masters, or those that can work with the energies to help another activate themselves. You must still be prepared. You must still, we will say it is very, very beneficial for you to first be prepared before you go into these things. Again, just akin to a psychedelic experience, it is it is great to understand what you are working with. It's great to work with a shaman. However, ultimately, you are the one ingesting the the substance, yes? And the shaman is there to guide you. So, as opposed to trying to have the shaman do everything for you, or it's a more self-empowering, let us say, for you to practice these things on your own as well, so that you begin to understand what is going on within your body and around your body, so that when you work with others, things will become more clear to you. The probability of things of you the probability of you depending on another master figure will be less, for you understand that, I am I am a master as well. Yes, I am becoming a master. Yes.
Right. No, that's beautiful. You're right. And in my journey, as I'm sure you know, and my involvement with masters and dependencies that were created and all the the issues that led to, um, I definitely understand, and I'm sure you understand, obviously, as you're mentioning this, that yeah, being self-sufficient and understanding how a process works within your body and having some control over it, just can make a world of difference along this journey. So I I appreciate you saying that and making that point, and I'll continue to make that point too, because from my experience, I feel very strongly about it. If you want to speak more on that topic, that's appreciated. I also want to, perhaps after that, go into kind of the nexus of Kundalini and healing, because in my experience, I found after having my Kundalini activated that when when I seem to maybe feeling a little bit sick, a little bit under the weather, maybe I actually getting something like diarrhea in India, or something like that, or even if I was just like really tired and potentially getting run down, maybe it was a fatigue issue, something like that. I would feel that kind of Kundalini charge come in, and feel that activation in the base of the spine, and I felt my system invigorated. It was almost like there was a little power cell power generator sitting there at the base of the spine, and it was like, oh, we need a little bit of juice here. The system's in trouble. There's physical issues going on. We need to you know get the Kundalini to start sending out some energy there to help out. So yeah, if you could kind of talk about the role of Kundalini in healing, um, that would be. I mean, I would find that interesting. I imagine other people would be interested in that as well.
Yes, very well. Thank you for this questioning. So, as we have said in the past, healing is a reinvigorating or returning of the flow of life to an area of your life and body that has grown stagnant, that has in a way, yes, become blocked. And so as you work with the Kundalini energies, and again, as you begin to practice allowing this energy, moving this energy throughout your whole body, your whole channel, then this reinvigorates the flow of life. And so this will help, this will heal you in time, yes? And so this is indeed a way to heal yourself. This is a way to return, reinvigorate, re-enliven the flow of life. And so we encourage this. We are here to, yes, we are here to indeed teach you how to fish as opposed to just give you the fish. Yes, teach you how to plant a food forest as opposed to just give you a basket of fruit. As you develop these skills, you will begin to understand when you are actually overwhelming yourself with energy and life, which is what leads you, which is what leads to the building up, the stagnation, the constriction. Yes, and you will, oh, be more easily able to release excess energy or redirect or reallow to move throughout your body. And so, yes, this is the basic connection between healing and Kundalini.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of transition to our, healing portion. And, Eniko's here. I'm very grateful that she's joining us, this morning, her evening. And, and I know she has some important issues that, we want to, work towards, healing and helping her heal. Um, Eniko, if you'd be willing to share some of what what you would like to work on in terms of healing, and then if Leo, you could channel on that, I think that would be productive.
Yeah, of course. First of all, I want to mention that I was working with some healers last year, and unfortunately, my experience was not really positive. Like I felt, I don't know, you experienced something similar, but they were taking out of energy of me, not healing me or not giving me more light. So I felt like I'm losing my light, I'm losing my mhm, everything what is me. So then I find Jonah and Octavia, and they were more like light and positive. So I felt like actually when they were helping me, it was more positive for my experience. Mm, and what I felt that I had really like aggressive thoughts, but was not mine. But I felt like really getting out of my shape. So it was not. I felt it's not my identity. I was like really negative and really I wanted to almost kill someone. So it's like really aggressive feelings. And I didn't know where is it come from. It's an astral projection, or it's like an entity or demon, or it's like the mindset. And yeah, I felt especially these attacks around the throat and the heart chakra, also the sacral. I already mentioned to this to Jonah that I feel really like strong tension in my belly, so like a stone or something really heavy. Um, yeah, and I feel this from last summer, so almost a year.
Yes. Yes, we will guide in a little meditation
Okay.
to help. Yes. Did you have a questioning about this, dear one, before we get into the meditation?
Just how can I release or move on from this bad experience?
And also, I would add another question, if you're okay with me asking. What is it, to add a little more clarity around it?
Well, we will be very honest and truthful that it is life. It is simply life. And
Mm,
really, the more you see things in this way, the easier and smoother the process and journey becomes. And we say all the bad, the evil, the wrong, the negative that is seemingly playing out in your world, this is really the result of the effect, the side effect of life not allowing itself to live fully, life not expressing itself in the most vibrant way, life that constricts itself and forces, yes, the energies of life to flow through in certain ways that are not the most harmonious. And so when one chooses to be born into this world, you chose to because you are that powerful of a creator, and you knew that you could shift all of these things from the inside out, which is what all of you are doing right now. And so we say, dear one, first and foremost, you are powerful indeed. You are so very powerful. And all of these seeming blockages you have, they they will be released. This is not the worries or questions of the times. It is really, they will happen. It is already done. And so you are now just witnessing and engaging in the playing out of, oh, how do I release these things? Oh, okay. It can be done this way, it can be done that way. So there are many ways to release these things, or rather re-enliven, yes, the flow of life. And so we say, how can you do this? Well, as we said earlier, the Kundalini exercise that we described, that is one way. And another way that we will guide is one of simply, as you do not need to squeeze your perineum or in this one. However, it's a simple deep breath, and then in that area of constriction you are sensing is releasing, and as you exhale, release and exhale in that area, and just and sense that that constricted area of your body is relaxing and letting go of the stagnant life, of the blocked, built up life, and spreading out a bit. Yes, spreading out a bit. And then doing this a few times in areas that you can sense the constriction, this will help. This will help greatly. And we will say, to add to that, once this is done, it is important that you also begin to choose to do something that you know is that is really great for you, or beneficial, or in other words, grow your life. For if you just focus on releasing and then you live the same pattern life, it can pile up again. So then you have to release again and pile up again. So it's about, yes, releasing and then shifting your life in a way that is very more joyful to you, more naturally joyful. What are your passions? What are your excitements? And then shifting your life to be more aligned with that, and then the stagnant energies won't really build up as in the same way, and you will not really experience those side effects. Yes.
Okay. And to connect on this, because as an empath or like really highly sensitive person, I feel I'm really feeling from the collective shifts and everything. So that could be happen that I was focusing too much outside of myself, and that's why this happened.
Yes, indeed, dear one. Yes, indeed. You are very accurate. Yes. We say, indeed, it is important to also focus on your own body self, and to, we will say, what we will guide in a little bit is the simple clearing of the your aura as well. For this is very a holistic way to stay clear and clarified for longer. And so this is important. And as you say, if you when someone is overly focused on something outside of them, seemingly outside of them, whether it's the news or another person or this incident, then indeed they're depleting the energy and their aura, their magnetic field, and this allows the energy to build up, stagnate. And so when you begin to bring back your awareness and your energy to your body and to your the space around you, then indeed it enlivens the flow of life, and you become healthy once more. Yes.
And with this, I can help with meditation, yoga, so some movements, clearing techniques. So what can be useful for this?
Yes, all of the
situation?
above. Yes, indeed.
Mhm.
And we will guide. We will guide. So yes, let us guide in this, and you will see a very simple way. So indeed, you may relax first. Yes, dear ones, relax. And now take a deep breath and hold for as long as comfortably possible. And then relax, release. Relax your muscles once more. And then we will take another deep breath together. And this time, as we take in that deep breath, we'll raise our arms and stretch them up slowly, gently. Get a nice stretch. Nice stretch. And then we relax again and let our arms down and let it settle. And then we will take another deep breath. And as we take this deep breath, we will now stretch our legs if we can. And if not, then we could also just tap our feet on the ground. Yes, and as we do, as we stretch or tap our feet on the ground, we will connect with Gaia. Yes, we will ground into Gaia a bit more. So take that deep breath, and as you hold, you can stretch your toes and tap them into the ground a bit. Tap, 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 saying hello to Gaia. And then you may relax once more. And now what we will do is very gently, slowly begin to move your arms around in this circular way, as if, yes, you are familiar with the toroidal field, or yes, the aura around you in a almost backstroking way. And what this will do is this will integrate your body with your space around you. And just as you say, Aniko, this will also bring back your awareness towards not just your body, but the space around, yes, which is, yes, also indeed important. And then from here, we will take another deep breath. Yes, hello, dear one, hello, yes. And we will hold, and we will now combine everything together. So as we take the deep breath, we will stretch up and out. And as we stretch up and out, as we hold the breath, we'll tap our feet
Big
onto the
breaths.
ground. Yes. Bringing Gaia into the fold as well. And then we will relax, release, relax our body, and also continue with a little backstroking motion to continue this circulation of the energy. Yes. And now from here, we will let things settle and sit with ourselves for a few moments, allowing the body to integrate and absorb all of this lovely love light. And wherever there was movement, relaxing to the knowingness that there is also light, there is also love. And yes, dear ones, just this simple, simple, restful meditation. Yes, you are in a different place. Yes, you are in a different space. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that was really nice how it worked. And all right. Yeah, a little bit of movement, a little breathing, and it did quite a bit. Eniko, how was that for you?
Okay.
Oh, Jeanette. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome to have you. I know we had the time difference, so the clock switched and
Oh, I forgot about that.
yeah, no,
Oh,
I forgot to remind you, and I only realized because somebody else told me yesterday. So that's the only way I
bummer.
knew. I want
Bummer.
to introduce Jeanette to Leo and to everybody else here. I'm really glad and excited that she came on. Jeanette is from the Finley Community Center.
Oh,
And
yes.
yeah, and Leo knows all about that, and he's also going to be helping us um, over there too, as well as Octavia. She's going to be joining us there as well. Um, and yeah, Jeanette and I met there last week. She was really vibrant in the session. So we're super excited to have you here and for Octavia, Leo to meet you. Um,
Yes, it's great to meet you, Jeanette.
Hi. Are you seeing me on this thing? I don't know.
we're
No,
not.
your
There's a
camera
little
seems to
button with a video icon. It might be on
Oh,
your bottom left, and you can
yeah,
you can
yeah.
press that.
I'll take my curlers out first.
Okay.
I don't know what day it is. It is Sunday, but I forgot about the time change. Bummer. Holy mackerel. Okay,
Hmm.
well, I'll try this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think I can do it, but that's okay. You don't need to see me. It's okay. I don't know how it works, so I'll figure that out some other day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
there is a thing here, but it doesn't seem to do anything, so I don't really know what it's doing. I don't know what this would. Uh-oh, I think I lost. Well, shoot, no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to keep it like this because I can hear you and see you.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's good. If we met, but if maybe you want to introduce yourself for a minute um to Octavia and Leo.
Hi, I'm Jeanette. Hi.
hi.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a retired school teacher. That's all I can tell you, basically.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Where did you teach?
Windsor, an elementary school. I did RSP classes because that's where the jobs were, was in RSP, not so much in regular ed. At the time that I got my job, well, I did teach regular ed for like 3 years in a two-room schoolhouse type place. And then when I tried to get a job up in this area, it was like 600 applicants for every job. It was crazy. So I went back and got another year of special ed education so I could get a job that wouldn't have 30 kids in a room, you know, small group. So that was
Hmm.
good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Very nice.
All right, which is even better.
Okay. Well,
Free
we've
again.
had a
I'm free.
right. Yeah, now it's time to explore and do some personal growth and learn some new things.
Yeah, I've always
Um,
been into learning things. Yes. Yeah.
okay.
So I'm sorry I
So
missed this whole thing. Damn it.
no, that's okay. Yeah, it's good to meet you. There'll be plenty of other times.
Okay.
And this is a weekly program. And we have other stuff too. And Wednesday next week we'll see you, and both of us, we'll all see you in person, um, over
Yeah.
there. This today's discussion was very interesting. It was about Kundalini. Have
Yeah.
you heard of Kundalini energies?
Yeah. Kundalini, right. I guess it travels right up your spine, pops your head out. No, I don't know that. That's some energy thing.
Yeah.
It can do that. Yes, it can do that.
So we heard some new perspectives. I was kind of trained in one school, one approach to Kundalini, and we got a new exercise, and we may try that perhaps Wednesday with everybody
Cool.
to get into that. I will ask as we wrap up and also are kind of respectful of everybody's time. I'll ask Octavia if she would like to give a little bit of her perspective, perhaps on the topic of Kundalini. It could be that topic or another
All right.
topic
Cool.
if you choose. And
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm gonna hand over my earpiece to her so she's fully mic'd in.
Hi everyone, and I'm sorry for joining you so late.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a lazy morning here on the beach.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
What beach are you on? What beach is it?
What's the name of the beach? I'm not sure.
Over Creek?
Okay, you heard Jonah.
It's Crane Creek.
He's familiar with the area. So there is a lot to say about Kundalini, and I teach Kriya Yoga in the morning and breathwork for Kundalini raising. And it just happened that just last week, I had someone in an individual session saying how she practiced some Kundalini activations, maybe a bit too much. And she had this experience of a lot of fear coming up and she didn't know what to do with it. So I think what I would like to bring to you today is maybe a bit of more awareness upon different practices. They can be very good and very supportive for the body. The Kundalini usually arises from the root chakra along the spinal passage, which is called the Sushumna Nadi, and it's the most important energy channel in our body. Basically, when this energy channel is dormant, it affects all the other energy channels, so our energy will not be really awakened. But also, when it awakens, because it comes from the root chakra, then it awakens also the fear which has been stored there. And there is usually a lot of fear stored in the root chakra.
Okay.
So whenever we are doing these practices, and maybe we are not doing them correctly, or not watching the amount of time that we are giving to them, or so on, or we push ourselves too hard, it might be that such an activation might trigger quite some emotions. And this is very good for someone who has a stable practice in meditation, or for someone who knows how to navigate those emotions. But for other people who might not be so mindful about them, and they might have these experiences for the first time, then I would say that it's very important to start with mild practices. And I just want to show you one of them. Yeah,
Where
because
do you? Sorry to interrupt. Where do you teach?
So I teach online,
Oh.
usually twice per week. And
Mhm.
until now, I taught on the European time. Now that we are here, I'm doing it on the Californian time. And I have been doing so for the last 2.5 years. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I want to show you just a short practice. Yeah, there are so many things that we can do for awakening the energy channels, but
Okay.
mostly for the Sushumna Nadi, I would really recommend the breath of fire. And besides the breath of fire, I would say that using different energy locks, and mostly the first energy lock, which is it is called the Mula Bandha. Yeah, Bandha is lock. And the Mula Bandha, locking it means to pull the energy upward from the root chakra, and one will squeeze the muscles of the perineum, and it will pull the energy up by breathing it in, maybe retaining the breath for a few seconds, and then breathing out and relaxing. And I usually combine this with a short practice of the breath of fire, So we can do this together if you wish to, just for 1 minute or so. It's very simple.
Okay.
We can also use a mudra for this. So I love this mudra. I call it the cat mudra.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks a bit like the cat pose.
Uh-huh.
So, and we can open our arms. And for the breath of fire, we just breathe in on the nose, breathe out on the nose. There are short inhales, short exhales. Usually the attention goes more with the exhale because you're bringing the air out, and the inhalation happens almost naturally, almost automatically. And you're going to feel the belly moving a lot. Yeah. So let's do this together for around 1 minute, and then we are going to apply the Mula Bandha and retain the breath for a few seconds. Bring the hands down, take a deep breath in, retain the breath, apply the Mula Bandha, which means that you're squeezing the muscles of the perineum. And remain here with the breath retention for just a few moments. And you're perfectly still. You observe inner emptiness. There is nothing else going on. And then exhale, relax the body, relax your breath. Yeah, move your shoulders, move your body a bit to be sure that you're comfortable. Yeah, this is a short and though very powerful practice. And of course, if you wish to learn more or read more about how to use the logs, how to use the bandhas, there are usually 3 bandhas that we use in Kriya Yoga. The first one is the Mula Bandha. And then there is the abdominal bandha, which means locking the area of the stomach. We pull the stomach in and upward. And then there is the tree lock, which is the chin lock. We usually bring the chin down into the chest. And when this practice is done with the 3 locks, of course, is even more powerful. And the aim of each such practice is to bring the energy from the root chakra upward and to awaken the Sushumna Nadi in this way. Yeah, so you can look more into them, or you're very much welcome to join the morning practice. And please always take it easy. You know, it's always good to start with the mild forms and not to go into too much breath retention, not into too long, not to keep the retention for too long, mostly if you're a beginner in it. Okay, do you have any questions?
Yeah, when is your morning practice?
So I usually do it on the European time. I usually do it from 8 a.m. So here I try to keep it the same. Yeah, it's from 8 a.m. And if you wish to join,
That's early.
you're very much welcome. I can send you a schedule, for this week, and you're very welcome to join it whenever you wish.
Okay, that's cool. I don't know about 8 a.m. though. That's that's early.
It's early. It's the kind of practice that you would like to do early in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? It awakens the body very well. It's not to be done in the second part of the day. Yeah, because then you're awakening too much energy and the sleep will be disruptive. The mind might get a bit more,
So
more into its power.
when you do the 8 a.m., how long does it go till?
It does take 1 hour.
1 hour. Okay.
Yeah, and we combine practices of breath work with different asanas as well that we are doing, and different practices of Kriya Yoga.
Okay. Yeah, so if you want to send a schedule, Jonah has my email where I could, it's on my big computer, and then I do the Zoom thing on my phone because my computer doesn't have microphone or camera.
Okay. I tell Jonah, and he can send to you.
Okay,
Maybe
cool.
I send you an invitation to our group so we can stay connected there. And then you can have the schedule all the time, and you can be in touch with what happens.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed this thing today. I forgot all about the time change, and I've been looking forward to it because I like it to stay lighter longer. Yeah, that's all
Well, it's
good.
lovely. It's lovely to have seen you and Leo a bit.
Yes.
And I hope to see you next week as well.
Yes, it sounds like
I leave Jonah now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks. Hey, right on.
Everyone.
Hey, Jonah,
Yes.
do you
Hi.
think you could do some of that breathing technique she just showed in our next session? Or would that not be right?
We'll definitely be doing some Kundalini work in the next session.
That'd be good. That'd be
Which
good.
exercise we'll see. I think we have some good options there.
Yeah, I like what she did because she's starting from, I guess, the beginning of the root chakra thing. Yeah.
Mhm. Great.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it's so good to hear
Yeah.
you and see everyone this morning. So
All
thank you,
right.
Eniko, and thank you, Leo, as well. And
And
we'll
I'll see you at 1 o'clock on Wednesday.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. We'll see you 1 o'clock Wednesday
Right.
with Leo and Octavia as well. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.
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 Everyone.